Hi, welcome back to the Dukes. My name's Ayden Roberts-Jones. Thank you very much for obviously tuning in and listening to today's lesson. We're going to be talking a little bit about hand position and the importance of it from the setup, and thank you to everybody that's been following on in the last few sessions. This is hopefully now just going to start to build up a little bit more kind of security into your setup, really highlight some obviously good areas that you probably do already, but maybe highlight some areas that you may be struggling on and certain areas that you might need just to tighten up a little bit from here. All right. Hand position is obviously a very important position, and we're not really going to be talking about the grip. We're actually going to be talking about from the angle of the club head up to the hands. And so you know when you're standing over the ball that you're in a correct position, rather than having someone standing in front of you saying yes or no. Probably the most common problem that we'll generally see, I've just got my 5-iron here, so I'm just going to adopt my normal setup from this position here. But really, you know, probably the most common problem is that we'll see the hands being, if not on the ball, or slightly behind. You see how that promotes more of a kind of cupping effect here from the wrists? You can kind of imagine if we start off in this position that if we're coming back down to the ball, it can kind of promote this kind of movement from here. As you can see, by having the wrist actually flicking through, it's adding loft more to the club, and it's kind of giving us that kind of disjointed effect into the swing. Ultimately, what we really want to be seeing is kind of getting ourselves into the ball, into this kind of more impact position. So you see how the club is almost an extension of my left arm. So what's important is that we're not trying to move ourselves into that position when we're swinging. Why don't we actually start our position from our setup into that position, so it highlights crucially into there. Again, coming back into a little bit of resistance here by pushing the hands just slightly left side of the ball, or if not slightly ahead. If I'm now looking down as my checkpoint, I want to make sure that I'm covering this left knee here, okay? If I go back to my last position as I was just discussing, I can see all of my knee, so I know I'm in the wrong position there. Push the hand slightly further forward. You can see how the left hand here, there's not going to be as much of a cupping, but what it also does is it creates quite a lot of resistance up through the forearm and into the left bicep as well. So I actually feel as if I'm actually into quite a strong impact position. You can imagine if I'm coming back down to the ball, that's what I'm going to be probably more kind of looking like. I'm kicking through it. Whereas if I'm kind of back here somewhere, I have to almost move into that position. Again, we're trying to make the golf swing as simple as possible, and if you can really make sure that you check that point from all, you know, your sound wedge straight up to your driver, this left knee should be covered at all times into your setup position. It's something that I want you to always go away and check it. You might find that it's good anyway, but it's a really important factor in the setup. Thanks again for listening. Tune in to us next time, where we're going to be having a bit of a refresher course on everything we talked about as far as the setup is concerned over the past videos. Thanks again. If you've got any questions, you can always email me at aroberts-jones@allcoursehotel.co.uk. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.